everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're looking for that perfect Valentine's Day makeup look that's not cakey, not heavy, and actually looks good in real life, this tutorial is for you. So let's get into some makeup. I always like to start off with skin prep first whenever I'm doing my makeup, just because I like to give my skin time to absorb all the products so that my foundation lies on smooth and it's not putting like wet product on top of wet product. For primers first, I'm starting off with the Refy Blur and Hydrate primer. This one has actually been one of my favorite ones recently just because it fills in my pores and kind of eliminates that texture, but it still keeps my skin super glowy and hydrated, especially right now in the winter when everything is just super dry. I feel like even though I do naturally have oily skin, my skin's just been wanting some extra moisture. So this is a really good primer to use. For eyebrows, I don't really do much because I don't want my eyebrows to be the center of attention. I want like my eye makeup or my face makeup to be the center of attention. So I'm just gonna fluff them up a little bit with this Anastasia Brow Gel, not Brow Wiz. And I just kind of like to give them a little bit of shape and just get all the hairs going in one direction and not like that chaotic mess you saw earlier. So since I do have more thicker brows, I kind of like to do things in the opposite direction. Usually people will fill in their brows first, then go in with brow gel. I like to do the brow gel first because now I can kind of see where all the sparse areas are. And then I could just take my brow pencil, this is from NYX, and then I could just fill in those sparse areas. So like there's a little bald spot right there, there's a little bald spot right here. So I'm just filling in the bald spots. Moving on to eye makeup, I always love to set my eyes with the Decay eyeshadow primer. I do have oily eyelids, so this is a must in my makeup routine. And then I'll take my finger and just pack that all in. I think it's Norvina, but for eyeshadow, I wanted to use the old Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina palette because it has these really pretty pinks and browns, and I thought it would just be a really good Valentine's Day palette to use. Sadly, they don't make this palette anymore, but they need to bring this stuff back because this was peak makeup. Always with eye makeup, I'm going to line my lids with this super bright concealer because I am going to be using more pinks, so I really want that pink to stand out. And to get it to stand out, you need a really white base. Thankfully, I am really pale, so it should pop up, but if you are a little bit on the darker side and you really want that pink to pop out, I recommend getting a really lighter concealer for your eyes. Don't worry, it'll all blend in with your foundation and the eyeshadow, but just to get that pink to really pop out, going lighter on your base is preferred. After I got that online, I'm gonna take my beauty blender and I'm just gonna blend out the harsh lines and just to also blend this a little bit. Hey, I look more awake, thank God. Okay, switching brushes, I'm gonna grab this really, really big fluffy brush and I'm just gonna take this first white shadow, it's really called base, and I'm just gonna basically, it's kind of like a setting powder. I'm just gonna set this all on that eye just so nothing moves, and it gives us a nice clean base. I really like to make sure I get into my inner corners right here because I do have a hooded eye, so those tend to crease a lot, so I'll really get into those. I really want the pink to stand out, so that's what we're gonna be using most. We're gonna take this color Love and we're just gonna sweep this all over our lid basically, or at least focusing on the outer corner. We're gonna leave this kind of inner corner open because I want to put shimmer down there and keep that a little bit brighter. So getting it really close to the brow bone, not super close, like I'm stopping right underneath it and just blending it out. Picking up more color, focusing it on kind of the outer corner of my lid, packing it in, and then blending it out. Blending takes the longest time, so be patient with yourself and just keep using these little circly windshield wiper motions. And then you're gonna keep doing that until you like the color. I think I want a little bit more. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now we're gonna do the other eye. Now that we're happy with all that pink, I'm gonna take kind of a smaller fluffy brush like this. Size comparison, way smaller. Taking a smaller brush is gonna condense everything and keep that more centered where you want it and not just blend it out everywhere. I wanted to do kind of like a chocolate dipped strawberry kind of vibe. So I'm gonna take this really, really dark brown shade called Volatile? Bottle? Oh my god. Okay, well, we're gonna take that shade. I like to dab some a little bit and then like dust off the excess so it doesn't, like, that prevents fallout. Kind of where I put that pink shade, just a little bit lower. Keep that on the outer corner. But we're gonna keep that really localized into where this little socket thing is. I'm kind of pushing my brush into it. So really focusing it into that area first, getting rid of all of that product, and then blending it out into our little eye socket. We're not going to go up to the brow bone because then the two colors are gonna mix too much and then it's gonna turn muddy. Now I want to take a shimmer because I love shimmers. This one is called Dreamer. It's gonna be more of a champagne-y kind of color, and I'm gonna pack that all onto the inner corner of my eye. This is gonna add brightness, and this is also gonna help make my eye bigger because I have teeny tiny little eyeballs and I need all the help I can get. So after I pack that all in, we're gonna take that big fluffy brush again with the pink, and we're gonna go over that just to blend out the shimmer so it doesn't look too like splotched on there. I do like thickening up my lash line and kind of doing like a little mini wing. So I think I want to take this kind of like purpley brown plum color kind of shade. And that's what I'm gonna kind of do my wing liner with. I just like to pack that all into my lash line and then just kind of like flick it out. Where these two eyelids kind of meet, you're just gonna go. Now again, I really like a super thick lash line, especially when I'm applying false lashes because my eye shape's just weird. So I like taking a brown felt tip liner. This one's from Kat Von D. And I like going really into the corner of my eye just to make sure everything connects, because sometimes lashes I can't really get into that super deep corner and then they kind of look like disconnected, and then that bothers me. But you might be thinking, Jordan, why didn't you just do the wing liner with this? Because I can't. Taking on some lashes. These are just the Ardell Demi Wispy lashes. I really like these. They're classic. Can't go wrong with them. I'm gonna put on some mascara. This one's from Maybelline. It's the Sky High mascara. I really love this mascara. We're done with eye makeup for right now. We're gonna move on to face because I like to save the underneath the eyes for final touches. And then we already did our skin prep, but for foundation, I'm going in with the Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin in the matte one. This is such a beautiful formula, and it's just so perfect for anybody who has a lot of oil or texture because it's matte, so it kind of controls the oil a little bit. But I just love how natural and effortless this foundation looks. But it also gives me coverage to cover up all my little pimples. So well done, Mario. This is probably one of my favorite foundations that I love using. So I love applying my foundation on first with a brush because I do notice that a brush does give me more of a full coverage. And then I am gonna take my beauty blender and blend that out a little bit more. I'm kind of using like pressing motions, not really like wiping or swiping motions. For concealer, I am using the NARS Pot Concealer, but I'm not using this underneath my eyes. I'm just using this just to cover up a little bit more pimples. And then I actually like to do my concealer after my blush and bronzer. So we're gonna do that first, and then we're gonna go in with under eye concealer. So for contour, I'm using the Rare Beauty Liquid Contour today. I'm just gonna take some of that on the back of my hand. Sometimes I will just dot it all across my face, but if I really want a nice, good, bronzy, seamless look, I'll take it from the back of my hand. And then I'm gonna kind of do this like 3 motion. I'm gonna do a little curve up top on my forehead, then I'm gonna come down right where I see my cheekbone, and then I'm gonna come underneath my jaw, not like on top of it, I'm gonna come underneath it. I like using the brush to blend that out. For blush, I really wanted a super vibrant, bright pink blush. So I have the Patrick Ta in the color She's That Girl, super bright pink, but I feel like it's not like bright enough. And then I have the Huda Beauty and the Ube Cream. I felt like that would be a really good mixture. So I'm gonna kind of like mix around a lot of these blushes to create like that vibrant, bright pink that I'm kind of looking for, you know? I'm gonna place my blush really high on the top of my cheekbone and kind of drag it in to the middle of my cheek. So that's how I'm gonna place my blush. I'm gonna take this and now I'm gonna blend out that blush. Kind of following in the same places where I put it. I'm not gonna drag it like all the way in here. Super pretty. I'm not a super huge blush fan, so I probably do spend a good amount of time making sure that it's blended out. And now for concealers. For concealers, I love going in with Kosas. It's more of a hydrating concealer, and so that's why I really like it underneath my eyes. And I want to make sure I kind of curl it around the blush placement. Take my beauty blender. But I've been liking putting my concealer on top of my blush just because now it looks just more natural and seamless instead of the blush sitting on top of it and then it kind of like creasing there. After I've done all my creams, now it's time for setting powders. Setting powders, I am gonna go in with two. I'm gonna use both the Huda Beauties. The first one is the Cherry Blossom Cake. That one I'm gonna put underneath my eyes just to make sure it stays bright. So I like to pack it all into my powder puff. Then I kind of like to bake it on my hand a little bit just so it's all evenly distributed, and then packing it into my under eye. I don't know what she puts in here, but I love the loose powder. And I kind of like to use the powder to shape my nose a little bit, so that will kind of be my contour. And then for the rest of my face, because I do get oily and I get creasy, like make sure you blend out all your creases. I'm gonna take the Pound Cake one and I'm gonna set that all over my face because my natural oils will start coming through, so I'd rather be like matted up instead of shiny disco ball. If I feel like I do want a little bit more color, I always go in with powder bronzer. Powder bronzer, I'm using the Giorgio Armani bronzer, and I did bedazzle it, so that was fun. And just go over the same areas where I did with the liquid one. We're just trying to add in a little bit more color. Oh, I love my bronzer, but we are keeping this more a little bit blush focused. So I am gonna take the powder of the Patrick Ta and just dust a little bit on top, just so it gives a nice, good, like, bright pinky. For highlighter, I brought in my Dior Universal Glow because they have a pink and I thought it'd be super cute to do kind of like pink highlighter. So we're gonna take that pink highlighter. I like to dash them on my nose, down the middle, and then on the tippy tops of my cheekbones, kind of where that blush is. For the lower part of my eyes, I did want to line my waterline with the Urban Decay eyeliner in the color Beige Flag. This will also help open up my eye too. So I'm just going to pull down my lower lid and just line that waterline. It is going to tickle a little bit. And then I do want to smoke out that lower lash line a little bit. So I am going to take kind of like this flat brush right here, going in with that same color Love and packing that all onto my lower lash line. And then I just threw on some bottom mascara. But now what I really want to do is I want to highlight that inner corner. So taking the Dior palette again, we're going to take that white shimmer and place that onto my inner corner. Kind of like a base, but I really want more shimmer, like more sparkle. I actually brought in one of the Urban Decay glitter eyeliners and we're gonna put that on the inner part of my eye. So I'm just gonna take a brush, I put it all on the back of my hand, and I'm just gonna pack that into the inner corner because I really want that to like brighten up. So this is my favorite lip combo right here. It has never failed me and I will use it probably until the day I die. Lip liner is Charlotte Tilbury's Iconic Nude. To me, it's just such a perfect brown and I love using it. Then as lipstick, I'm going in with the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lipstick. And then I'm a gloss girl, so for lip gloss, I'm using the Rare Beauty gloss in the shade Glimmer. And I like how it just keeps everything nice and pink and natural. Now, the only thing left to do is set. I do like using two setting sprays, one to hydrate because Vegas is just super dry and makeup is also very drying. So I'm using the One Size Powder Melt. I also like how it gives just a nice natural radiant finish while also like melting everything together. I was super skeptical of this first, but I really do like it. And then because I am oily and I don't want this to go anywhere, I'm using the One Size Until Dawn. That is just such a legit setting spray. When I fix my hair, I'll be right back. I wanted to put a couple curls in my hair. That's the routine for that not cakey, not heavy, super easy date night Valentine's Day glam. If you want more super easy tutorials like these, please comment down below what's something you guys are looking for. I would love to help you out and make that video for you. And then don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel, and then I will see you all next week. Bye!